I'm thinking of taking on the care of my mom, but you two didn't get along, so it's probably impossible, right?
My husband asked me that. I immediately responded, sure.
Huh.
He widened his eyes in surprise.
You mean you'll take care of your mother-in-law? Are you sure?
Absolutely. I won't let my husband have his way. I'll divorce him on my terms. My name is Catherine, a 32-year-old homemaker. I've been married to my husband, Ken, for 3 years. We both used to work at the same company and got close unexpectedly, eventually starting to date. About 1.5 years into our relationship, he proposed and we got married. I quit my job when we got married. He wanted me to become a homemaker. I've been supporting him as a homemaker since then. He seemed happy, always coming straight home after work.
I don't feel like stopping anywhere because Catherine's cooking is so good. I even turned down drinking parties.
I was so happy to hear him say that. He came home early and made time for us to go out on his days off. I couldn't be happier. Our newlywed life was very enjoyable like that. However, about 1 year after our marriage, we faced a slight problem. His salary had decreased. His company was involved in a scandal and got bashed for it. This led to a loss of clients and big financial losses. Fortunately, Ken, being young, wasn't laid off, but his salary inevitably dropped. He could have changed jobs, but he thought he'd probably only face a salary cut elsewhere as well. He believed no other company would offer as much as his previous pay. Instead, he speculated that staying at his company might offer better chances for promotion as others were being laid off or resigning. I had no right to stop him, as he was the one earning our livelihood. To me, it didn't matter which company he worked for as long as he brought home the bacon. But with the reduced salary, we had to cut back. So I began to focus on saving as much as possible. The first thing to reconsider was our fixed expenses. We used to use major cell carriers without much thought, but I switched to MVNO to use a cheaper SIM. We both had cars, but we decided to sell mine, as I didn't use mine during weekdays. Only these changes saved us about $500 a month. Then, for variable expenses like groceries, I tried to reduce costs as much as possible. I bought meat when it was on sale or discounted and stored it in small portions in the freezer. I prepared make-ahead meals and freezed what could be frozen and refrigerated the rest to avoid wasting food. I decided to go shopping trips only once a week. Thanks to these efforts, our grocery bill, which used to be expensive due to buying what was not really needed without thinking, was now under $200 a month for the two of us. With these savings, we managed to compensate for the reduced salary. This should be fine. We can continue our lives comfortably. That's what I thought. However, one day, after living like this for a while, my husband said something like this.
You're always talking about saving money. It's not that hard on us financially. You know, you're nagging me all the time, and it makes me feel suffocated.
I was shocked by his words. But we just managed to get by fine because I've been working hard at saving.
Even so, we need to indulge sometimes, or life is going to be so boring.
I wondered if I had been pushing him too hard. His words made me reflect. But no matter how I recalculated, there wasn't much more we could cut back on. Then, is it okay if I work too?
Why?
I'm afraid it's tough to live comfortably on just your salary now. With your pay cut, we have no choice. It's different from our agreement first, but you should accept me to work if you want some luxuries. After some hesitation, he reluctantly agreed. Okay, I started looking for a job and found a job as an administrative assistant. working from morning till evening. It was almost like full-time, working from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., and it seemed like I could earn an adequate amount for helping our living expenses. The office wasn't far from home, so I thought I could do grocery shopping in my way home and still be back by 5 p.m., and that would allow me to prepare dinner before my husband got home. So I decided to work there. Once I started working, everyone at the workplace was so kind, and I felt very comfortable there. With my previous experience as a company employee, I quickly learned the ropes. Communicating with people other than my husband expanded my perspective, which was a great environment for me. Moreover, being able to earn my own income has brought me great relief, and it has allowed us to enjoy a somewhat more comfortable lifestyle. We became able to afford some little luxuries that my husband mentioned.
Well, it's been years since we came such a fancy restaurant, hasn't it?
We went last year, remember?
Really? I guess so much pressure for saving made me forget about it.
It's not that strict.
Well, it is stricter than you think.
Really, I had been so focused on making up for his decreased salary that it could be I didn't realize how tight our budget actually was. But his salary has not increased. It was just that my working allowed us a bit more flexibility now, so we couldn't let us be complacent. Just so you know, I haven't stopped being frugal, okay? We're just creating opportunities to enjoy good food once in a while. You should work hard to get your salary back to where it was.
Okay.
He replied, looking a bit upset. I knew it wasn't a pleasant topic to him. But we had to be realistic. We might have children in the future, and it would require significant money. We need to start saving now. I felt Ken lacked a sense of urgency about this. Well, let's just focus on the dinner today. I decided not to talk more about it and just enjoyed the evening with Ken, having delicious meal and drinks. Some time has passed after that, and the holiday season arrived. I always felt a bit down around Christmas. Because it was a tradition to gather at my in-laws' house. If my in-laws were kind, it would be fine, but especially my mother-in-law was a typical mean type. Every time we met, she would make snide remarks. And this year was no exception. Merry Christmas, Deborah.
Merry Christmas. Oh, where are the kids?
Excuse me. That's right. You haven't had any kids yet. It's such a shame. I even prepared Christmas presents for them. She showed me the gift box. Okay, so this year's harassment is about not having kid yet. She clearly wants to put pressure on me to have children. I can't believe such a mean way she does it. Why does she have to be so nasty? I thought, feeling upset right from the start of the Christmas party. Throughout the day, she continued to bully me.
Oh, this dish is not good. Aunt Catherine made it. No wonder it's so bad.
She mocked me openly in front of all the relatives. Even if my father-in-law tried to stop her to do it, she kept criticizing me.
Are you really a housewife? With cooking like this, I feel sorry for Ken.
What's the problem to her? The food was well prepared and tasty. The other relatives seemed to enjoy it, so it felt like nothing but spite from her. Then, Ken blurted out something unnecessary.
Actually, Catherine isn't just a housewife anymore.
What do you mean?
Well, she's working in an office now. Since he let it slip, I had no choice but to explain.
I didn't know about this. Why didn't you tell me?
Huh?
You're supposed to report these kind of things. Normally.
Sorry. Why did I need to tell her? Whether I'm a housewife or a working woman, it's none of her business.
So that's why the cooking is bad. You're neglecting housework. Why do you even need to work while Ken is earning well? You must be working because you just want extra spending money for yourself. Huh? Maybe you're spending spree on luxury items, going out for lunches and dinners. Oh, don't tell me you're having an affair and squandering money on a man.
She abruptly started saying what she speculated wildly. The relatives all looked shocked at her sudden outburst. What are you talking about? There's no way that's true.
What makes you freak out so much? You look suspicious.
Stop it. Don't spread false rumors like that. That is defamation.
Oh, how could you say such harsh words towards your mother-in-law? If I were in your shoes, I would never say something like that. Young people these days really lack manners.
She berated me. I didn't care no matter what she said, but I couldn't bear to be thrown at me such baseless accusations of infidelity. At that moment, I truly began to hate her. I had always found her difficult, but this was too much. My adamant denials convinced the relatives that it was just her wild imagination. She sucks. On the way home that day, I told Ken that I didn't want to attend his family's gatherings anymore. However, he got angry and said, "Don't be so selfish."
You don't want to go because you're actually having an affair.
What? You're saying that too?
Well, it says there's no smoke without fire, right? Mom wouldn't say such things without reason.
She has a special ability to create smoke. It's called lying.
Hey, don't talk badly about my mom. If you were doing things right, she wouldn't have to need.
I don't think that's related. She just doesn't like me, so she can't help but harass me.
Come on, you're being paranoid.
Paranoid? You say I'm paranoid even after seeing how she treats me. That's clearly harassment. Anyway, I'm not meeting her again. You can go to family gatherings alone.
Don't be so selfish.
We continued to argue, but we never reached a resolution, and eventually left the matter unresolved. After that, we didn't talk to each other for many days. Then, when my husband was called by Deborah, he went to his parents' house, but I refused to go. He sighed and said nothing more. He must have realized it was pointless to try to persuade me. I was glad he gave up, as I never wanted to see her again. Gradually, Ken and I started talking again. I felt relieved a lot not having to go to see his parents and could focus more on my work. Then, I was offered a full-time position at my job. I thought it was a great opportunity, so I discussed it with Ken when I got home. Until then, I had been working within his dependent status, so becoming a full-time employee meant leaving his support. Originally, I had married with the understanding that I would be a homemaker at his request. So it was a significant change from our initial agreement, and I wanted to talk it over with him. I thought he would be opposed to me to accept the offer. But he said, "Yay, that's fine. I'll take care of the paperwork." I was surprised that he agreed so easily. Perhaps he thought it was too much trouble to convince me about the issue because of the incident between Deborah and I the other day. And he might have felt it was easier to just let me do what I wanted. I felt a bit guilty but was very grateful. So, I became a full-time employee. My working hours increased, but so did my sense of rewarding. I continued to manage the household chores properly while working. as neglecting them would break my promise with Ken. I tried to make chores easier, like using make-ahead dishes and easy-to-finish meals. Even I thought I was managing so well both work and home that Ken didn't comment anything on it. He had been busy with work lately, often coming home late and even working on weekends. So maybe just because he didn't have much time to focus on my household duties. When working full-time, our income became much more stable, and our life got much easier. I thought now we would be financially ready even if we had children. However, one day, I witnessed something shocking. It happened when I attended a company drinking party. That night, Ken also said he was going out with his coworkers, so I didn't worry and stayed out late. After the drinking party, I was heading to the after party with a few colleagues. I saw Ken leaving a nearby bar, though he was drinking close by. I wondered whether to go talk to him. But then, I saw a young woman come out and cling to his arm. I couldn't believe my eyes. They walked off towards the downtown area while flirting. There was no one else with them. This meant he was out drinking just with her. It was unmistakably an affair. I was stunned. I was in no mood to enjoy party anymore and head home instead. My mind was restless even at home. How long had he been cheating? Was he already having an affair when I talked to him about working full-time? That could explain why he so readily agreed. I couldn't stop thinking about it and decided to hire a private investigator to find out the truth. They quickly found evidence. As expected, he was having an affair. But what shocked me was a photo of Ken and his mistress with another person. It was Deborah. I couldn't make sense of it. Why she was with them. In any case, it meant she knew about and accepted his affair. She really sucks. I wanted to divorce him immediately. But then an unexpected event occurred. My father-in-law passed away suddenly from an illness. Because of this, I couldn't confront Ken about the affair or proceed with the divorce, as we were swamped with the funeral arrangements. I decided to wait until after the funeral-related matters were settled, and continue to gather more evidence. It would likely be more advantageous in the divorce. However, a few months after my father-in-law's passing, when our lives were returning to normal, Ken said something unexpected.
Mom has hurt her legs and lower back, and she is now bedridden.
Oh, that's tough.
Yay, and I need to discuss something about that with you.
He continued with an uncomfortable expression.
I'm thinking of taking on caring for my mom,
Huh?
but you two didn't get along, so probably you can't, right?
He asked me. I answered immediately. Why not? Sure.
Huh.
He looked surprised. He must have had some ulterior motive. He probably thought I would refuse.
You mean you're okay with taking care of your mother-in-law? Are you sure? You've been complaining about how she treats you.
Gladly, I won't let him have his way. I'll divorce him on my terms. He repeatedly asked, "Are you sure?" "Come on," I said, "it's fine."
Okay, but don't blame me if things go south.
He warned and quickly called Deborah. We ended up moving into my in-laws' house. "Hi, Deborah. I look forward to staying with you." She looked very displeased. My husband's face was drawn as well. But it seemed they had a plan. It was to pick me on thoroughly.
Catherine, what do you mean coming home at this hour? Get to the kitchen. and start cooking dinner right now.
Huh? You're a housewife and you've been staying at home all day, but you couldn't even prepare dinner. When it was just my husband and me, I would come home around this time and still get dinner ready. Seems like you're not good at housework, huh?
What? Just watch, I'll whip something up in no time.
She said and angrily prepared dinner. They probably wanted to use me like a slave, and they would make me suffer and were going to kick me out. If I left, they could bring that woman over without getting caught. However, if I didn't leave, he couldn't be with his mistress forever. I was actually enjoying this situation. I planned to get back at them and give them a taste of their own medicine. That would be my revenge on them. It was a bit mean, but I decided to go ahead with that strategy. Deborah, the shower is ready. Let me help you out.
Oh, thanks, but I can manage on my own.
Really? But I thought you had trouble with your legs. Ken even said you were bedridden.
Well, yes, my legs aren't great. He was just exaggerating a bit. I can move enough to shower myself.
Okay. Saying this, she got into the shower room. I knew all along that she wasn't really weak in the legs as they claimed. Their lie that she needed care was probably a ploy to get me to agree to a divorce.
Yikes.
A scream came from the shower room. I held back my laughter, thinking just as planned.
What's wrong, Mom?
Ken rushed to the shower room.
It was cold water. I thought I was going to freeze to death.
She shivered in a towel.
Catherine, you used all the hot water in a tank, didn't you?
Oops, my bad, I said, grinning slyly.
You did it on purpose, didn't you?
Is that true, Catherine?
No way, it was just a small mistake.
You're terrible, Catherine. Ken, maybe you should be with somebody else.
Yeah, your recent behavior have made it difficult to stay married. You've been causing a lot of trouble for Mom. Maybe we should divorce.
So that's their game. Time to show my cards. Right, maybe divorce is the only option. Hearing this, they both smirked.
Then sign this.
He said, handing me petition for divorce. Oh, you had these prepared already. How thoughtful.
We had to, with such a terrible wife like you.
Fine, but I'll be claiming compensation for your affair.
What?
They froze at my words. I laid out the photos I had been gathering on the table. I have the evidence. Looks like you were in on it too, Deborah. They were speechless.
Well, this isn't like. This is just.
No excuses. We'll divorce, but make sure you pay me alimony, I said firmly, signing the papers and packing my things.
Wait, you knew everything all along.
Yes, I knew. I knew everything, and I dared to choose to live with you and Deborah. I was aware that she was fine. It was quite funny to see you pretending to have a pain in your legs when you walk, Deborah. Their faces turned red with embarrassment. Well, it was an interesting stay. From now on, we'll communicate through lawyers, I said, and left the house. They were pale and stunned. Later, I sought damages from Ken and his mistress through a lawyer. I even sent a legal notice to his workplace to notice their dishonest practices. Since the affair was with a coworker, they both faced cold treatment at the office. Apparently, Ken missed his chance for promotion. He was relegated to a physical labor department in rural area. Deborah ended up alone. She's now shunned by neighbors after I spread rumors how terribly she acted in breaking up her son and his wife. Ken now leads a lonely life in a place where he knows no one, and his salary eaten up by alimony payments. He had promised his mistress that they could get married without having to pay any damages, but when they were faced with the claim, she ended up leaving him. As for me, I'm enjoying a single life with my stable income. I'll focus on my career, aiming for a promotion, leaving romance aside for now,